Okay, y'all, hi. Today's a bit of a different reading right out of the gate. We're exiting eclipse season as I am, or like the most recent eclipse as I am filming this. 1. 2, I'm using a deck that I have not used in probably over a year. I had a dream about this deck. Sorry, I was doing other work before I decided to film this kind of last minute. Had a dream about this deck. Okay. I'm not kidding, y'all. About 2 nights ago, I had a dream about this deck and I immediately woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, oh, I need to talk about this deck. So I recorded another video that I think I'm posting on my other channel. I don't think it's on this one because this one is typically just readings, where I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about this deck, which is the Earth Magic deck by Stephen Farmer, and I've had this deck for quite a while. And it's a deck that I recommend for those who are shamanic practitioners. If you're going to have one deck as a shamanic practitioner, that's an oracle deck, this is the deck I recommend. And there's a lot of reasons for it, and I go into that in the other video. This is the deck that I've been called to. I have not done a reading with this deck in a good long while. So we're going to see. I have no clue what's coming out of here. I haven't done a prayer yet, so let me just quickly do a prayer. Okay. So let's go. Let's see what's in this today. Like I said, so we've had crazy energy. Don't get caught up in the energy. First message, I haven't even pulled a card. Don't get caught up in the energy. It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. Focus on your energy. Focus on what it is that you're doing. Focus on what it is that you're trying to... Sorry, this whole table is moving. Give me 1 minute. Let me just back up. Adjust myself here. Okay. Focus on your energy and what you're doing and what it is that you need to see happen. Stop focusing on other people. I'm hearing not my monkey, not my circus. Immediately, not my monkey, not my circus. As I was saying that, the harmony card, harmony card came out. We also have the lotus flower and fire as the element, okay? That honestly is perfect. The lotus flower really deals with coming out of not a great place. This collective, okay, immediately, this collective, y'all have had it rough. You guys have not had an easy life. You've not had an easy upbringing, okay? This collective came to spirituality out of necessity. Not because you wanted to, not even necessarily because a lot of you were raised with it. I don't think a lot of you were raised with it, but because you had nowhere else to go to. And it would have consumed you. Fire is great. Fire is great. It sustains life for humans, for millennials, okay? And it has sustained life for quite some time, okay? We have as humans, ancestrally, we've got a very symbiotic relationship with the element of fire. But fire also devours. Okay, if fire gets out of control, it devours, it removes. It can be, there's a word I'm looking for. It can be destructive just as much as it can be healing. Okay, if my candle, I've got 2 of them, see if I can bring one of them forward. Okay, if my candle goes a little bit higher at the wrong moment, or I have my candle too close to the wall or too close to me and it expands, it can be destructive and it can be harmful. But my candle can also bring in light. It can bring in warmth. It can bring in insight. It can bring in calm. It can bring in peace. It can bring in harmony, which is what music deals with. Some of you, music is really healing. You need to pay more attention for some of you, you need to pay more attention to the music that you're listening to. What is it that you're letting in? Music is vibration. And some of you are listening to music that's not good for you. Listening to music that's not helping you. You're listening to music that's not aiding you. You're listening to music that is keeping you in a lower vibration and in a lower state. And there's a huge message here of just like fire, the element of fire can be amazing and great, and it can provide all these wonderful things, calm, warmth that I mentioned earlier. It can also devour. Music's the same way. Just like music can be uplifting and can be rejoicing, and you can, feel amazing. You can also listen to music that is depressing. You can also listen to music that is removing yourself from you, from your soul, from your life's purpose. You can also listen to music that is really alienating. Okay, there's this massive message here of being mindful of that, watching what it is that you do, right? Watching what it is and how you do it. That's interesting. We're going to take it. Yeah, you've got instinct with the wolf, okay? Ancestral lineage, family lineage, and you've got winter solstice. For some of you, the time between now and the winter solstice, or Yule, if you follow the pagan calendar, is going to be really, really important and really special. The winter solstice is usually around December 21st or 22nd. I haven't checked the calendar this year yet to see when it happens, but it's usually around that time, one of those 2 days. A lot of reflection, a lot of stillness. You need to get still to trust your intuition, right? You need, a lot of you here, you're spending too much time listening to the outside and not enough time listening inside. Not enough time listening inside. Not enough time listening to your heart. Not enough time listening to what it is that you feel. It's not what other people feel. It's not what other people are doing. Not my monkey, not my circus. Okay? That applies in a lot of ways. Okay? It applies in terms of like drama in your life, but it also applies in terms of intuition. Okay? Not your monkey, not your circus. Okay? Stop putting so much faith into what other people that you trust say, and see if it actually resonates with you. That includes like readings like what I'm doing right now. Okay? Some of you take these readings at face value, and then a year goes by or 2 years go by and nothing's changed. And you're like, well, why has nothing changed in this time? Like, I've been listening to all these readings and all these different readers. And it's because you're listening to everyone and you're not practicing discernment and reflection and listening to yourself and your own heart about what it is that is actually important. And there's a message here of needing to really get back into harmony and balance of what it is that it is actually important for you. Lotus flower, it's labeled unfoldment. And I didn't comment on that at the start of this because I wasn't really sure what spirit was trying to say and what God was trying to say when it said unfoldment. What I'm getting here is that you're unfolding into a higher version of yourself that trusts your intuition better. Instead of just listening to everyone and being like, yes, I agree. There's a level of unfolding of your own intuition, of your own abilities, of your own innate gifts. Okay, for some of you, that's going to look really different. For some of you, it could be a little bit more psychic. For some of you, that might be more healing. For some of you, that might be more along the lines of mediumship. But there's this unfolding of you stepping into this next chapter, stepping into this next role that you have, and doing so in a level of balance and harmony. And in every situation, when you step into a new pathway within your life, there is a warning, right? There is a message to say, hey, just like fire devours, it can also uplift. Having that balance, making sure that it's not overtaking your life. There's a message here that for those of you that are beginners in this realm, in this field of spirituality, intuition, tarot, oracle, anything along these lines, there's this message of being mindful of what it is you're listening to and what it is you're researching, because there's a lot of not great information out there. Okay? And not burning yourself out. Okay? Burnout. Fire. Right? Burnout. Being mindful of that. Okay? Mindful of the burnout. And for those of you that are more experienced practitioners, be mindful of the burnout that you might feel, that you might receive. Okay? There's also this really interesting between these two cards that's really standing out to me. Okay, the Wolf card takes place, I don't know how well you can see it, but it takes place in the winter. Okay, you've got some snow on the ground, you've got snow on the caps of the mountains. And then right afterwards, when I pulled these, you had winter solstice, right? Yule, which is obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere, is also during the time of snow. So there's this connection between you learning to trust yourself, you finding that stillness as the time of Yule comes around, as the winter solstice comes around, you learning to go inward yourself. For some of you, there's going to be something that happens between now, at the time that I'm filming this, so end of September, at the time that I'm filming this, and Yule, where you're going to naturally be inclined to go inward more. You're naturally going to be inclined to trust yourself more. You're naturally going to be inclined to do more. I was just told to stop using that deck. Okay. You're naturally going to be inclined to re-look at things that you think you have closed the book on. You've closed that chapter. You're going to naturally be inclined to reopen it and go, okay, what is it? What is it that I need to do? Right? What is it that is it making sense? What is it that I like or don't like? What is it that's going on here? Right? Some of you have been deceived and you're just opening that up to now. Again, that's where this Wolf card is, that instinct coming in. Some of you also, with this Wolf card, I'm being told you're going to be finding your pack. Okay? You're finding your group. You're finding what it is. We have Trunk and we've got Bird. And what I find really interesting is that the Trunk card, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little owl. And then the Bird, obviously, is Bird. It deals with the, it looks like a blue bird. Okay, we've got a blue bird, we've got a vulture, we've got some penguins, we've got a kiwi. Okay, there's a level of stepping into freedom, a realization of freedom, realization of reliability in oneself, in one's own power, stability in oneself and in what one knows, what you know, not what other people know and project onto you, but what you know. And with that comes a level of freedom. Okay, it's a level of freedom in what you do. It's a level of freedom of how you live your life. It's a level of freedom in how you walk in the world. And there's a massive message here of you need to let the cycles happen. Okay, you need to let the life cycles happen, just like you need to let the seasons happen. And you're not going to see everything all at once. You're not going to see everything play out all at once. But when the time is right, it will be shown to you. Okay, the freedom that you are seeking is your freedom. You're just here along with all this other nonsense that's going on in the world. You're just here for the ride. You hold the key to the freedom in your hand. A bird does not ask permission from the wind to fly. The bird flies because the bird trusts her own wings. She trusts that she's got the power to fly. She does not rely on the wind. She does not rely on the weather being nice. She trusts herself to fly. And that is why the bird has freedom. There is a message here of you need to trust yourself and you need to trust your intuition and you need to trust what you know. And you are in that process right now. A lot of this collective is really opening up to that right now. You're really starting to get into that more. You need to trust yourself because freedom is not outside of you. It is within you. Freedom of what you want to do is not outside of you. It is within you. It is not something external of you. It is something that you yourself have 100% control of. And exporting that freedom, that's not the word I'm looking for, but exporting that freedom outside of you, exporting that freedom outside of you means you're removing your power. You're removing your intuition. You're removing your stability, your wisdom, your knowledge. Excuse me. And you're saying, no, it's not good enough. I don't trust it enough. So start trusting yourself. You're moving into, by the new year, y'all are going to be completely transformed. New year, new you is going to have a whole new meaning. Whole new meaning. You're not even going to recognize yourself. And on that note, I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you next week. Bye.